Israel used a directed energy weapon in real combat for the first time ever. We're not talking prototypes or lab tests. This tech has already taken down dozens of enemy drones in northern Israel, protecting entire cities without anyone knowing. The Iron Beam works like an invisible shield in a totally revolutionary, futuristic way. You'll soon see what I mean. Back in 2022, then Prime Minister Naftali Bennett said the system had completed a series of tests. In 2024, it was scheduled for deployment in 2025. And it happened, but the way it was introduced to the world, simply mind-blowing. To grasp how huge this is, we gotta understand how this tech works first. The Iron Beam isn't like the giant laser beams you see in movies. Actually, it's way more sophisticated and scientifically precise. At its core is an electric laser pointer that focuses on a set target and fires a beam about 100 kilowatts strong and the diameter of a coin. To put that in perspective, 100 kilowatts is enough energy to power roughly 75 average American homes at once, but all that energy is focused on a spot smaller than a coin. The secret lies in something called adaptive optics technology. The system first shoots tiny test beams on different paths to learn the best route through the atmosphere to the target. This tech automatically adjusts for atmospheric distortions, air turbulence, heat, humidity, and even tiny dust particles that could throw off the beam. The Iron Beam can track targets at light speed and destroy them within 5 seconds up to 7 kilometers away. In just 5 seconds, it can detect, track, aim, and completely take out a drone flying 7 kilometers away. It's like having a sniper who never misses and whose bullet travels instantly. The laser beam is invisible day or night, only visible through special devices made for that. Now let's talk about what really flips the game: cost. In April 2022, then Prime Minister Bennett said Iron Beam could shoot down targets for just $3.50 a shot. To get how revolutionary that number is, look at current air defense economics. Each Iron Dome battery costs about $100 million to install and operate. After that, each interceptor missile costs between $40,000 and $100,000 per shot. That means Israel was spending more to defend itself from a single rocket than many countries spend on entire military gear. Compare that with the cost of the threats. A modified commercial drone might cost between $200 and $2,000. A homemade rocket made by extremist groups costs about $200. In the Ukraine conflict, Shahid drones cost roughly $35,000 each, while a Patriot Pack 3 interceptor costs about $3 million, and a NASA missile costs around $1 million each. Think about the math. Extremists could spend $10,000 making 50 homemade rockets and force Israel to spend $5 million defending itself. That was an unsustainable economic equation. The attack always cost less than the defense. Iron Beam flipped that logic upside down. At $3.50 per shot, Israel can now defend against a $200 rocket, spending less than 2% of what the attacker invested. That's a huge shift in military economics. To put it even clearer, with the money Israel spent to intercept one rocket using Iron Dome, now it can use Iron Beam to intercept between 11,000 and 28,000 rockets. This economic revolution has implications way beyond Israel. Countries that couldn't afford effective air defenses before can now consider this tech. Smaller nations with limited military budgets might finally get world-class protection. The first big advantage is its virtually unlimited ammo. Unlike traditional systems that rely on physical missile stocks, Iron Beam acts like a military power plant. While Iron Dome can become totally vulnerable if its missile stocks run out during a heavy attack, Iron Beam can keep firing as long as it has electricity. Imagine hundreds of drones attacking at once. A traditional system would get overwhelmed fast and run out of missiles. Iron Beam can keep going indefinitely. It's like having an endless ammo source that recharges automatically. The second revolutionary advantage is absolute operational stealth. The system runs silently, with no visible light, sound, smoke, or anything that could give away its location. That's a huge psychological and tactical edge. Imagine being an enemy drone pilot and watching your gear fail and fall from the sky with no clue where the attack's coming from. This invisibility also protects the system itself. Traditional air defense systems create bright flashes, explosions, and smoke trails that reveal their positions for counterattacks. Iron Beam can fire repeatedly from the same spot without exposing itself, keeping its location secret forever. The third advantage is surgical precision. The laser can target specific parts of the enemy, allowing extremely sophisticated disabling tactics. Instead of blowing up a drone completely, it can just knock out its navigation system, making it land intact for intelligence gathering. The fourth advantage is instant response speed. It can detect, track, aim, and destroy multiple targets in seconds. During swarm attacks with dozens of drones attacking at once, that speed can mean the difference between success and catastrophic failure. Finally, Iron Beam offers unmatched operational flexibility. The light beam version, a smaller 10-kilowatt model, can be mounted on light vehicles and used to take down drones, rockets, mortars, and even IEDs within 2 kilometers. But like all revolutionary tech, Iron Beam has some big limitations we need to understand for a full, realistic view. The main downside of a laser system is that it doesn't work well in low visibility, including heavy clouds or bad weather. The first major limit is its dependence on direct visibility. The laser needs a clear line of sight to work effectively. Thick fog, heavy rain, sandstorms, snowstorms, or even dense smoke can drastically reduce its effectiveness. In some parts of the world, these weather conditions are common during certain seasons, creating predictable vulnerability windows. To get this better, imagine trying to use a flashlight in thick fog. No matter how strong the flashlight is, the light scatters on water particles in the air. Same principle applies to Iron Beam, but with way more serious consequences. During a sandstorm in the Middle East, for example, the system's effectiveness could drop by 70% or more. The second critical limit is engagement speed. Although the laser travels at light speed, the system has to keep its beam focused on the target for several seconds to cause enough damage. This can be tough against super-fast targets or massive swarm attacks where dozens of drones hit from different angles. While an Iron Dome missile can destroy a target instantly on impact, Iron Beam needs to cook the target gradually, which can take 3 to 5 seconds per target. During that time, the system is locked on and can engage other threats. The third limit is thermal issues. Running 100 kilowatt lasers generates extreme heat, enough to melt metal. This requires massive, complex cooling systems that consume extra power and drastically increase the system's weight and cost. Poor cooling can cause catastrophic failures or seriously shorten the laser component's lifespan. Plus, excess heat can warp lenses and mirrors, lowering accuracy. The fourth limit is operational range. Iron Beam can engage targets up to 7 kilometers away, but that's still way less than traditional interceptor missiles that can hit targets 20 kilometers or more. This means the system needs to be closer to the areas it protects, possibly putting it at higher risk. The fifth limit is massive energy consumption. A 100 kilowatt system uses as much power as a small residential neighborhood. This needs strong electrical infrastructure or huge mobile generators, limiting mobility and adding logistical complexity. If electric infrastructure gets damaged during conflicts, the system could become completely inoperable. For all these reasons, Iron Beam isn't here to replace Iron Dome completely, but to work alongside it, creating a multi-layer defense barrier combining the best of both technologies. Since Iron Beam was revealed, over 30 countries started their own laser weapons programs. The US is working on systems up to 300 kilowatts. China claims it developed lasers that don't overheat. The UK, France, and Germany are already testing their own versions. But here's the crucial point. Only Israel has tested this tech in real combat. While others do simulations and controlled tests, Iron Beam has already faced real fire in real conflict. Iron Beam represents a fundamental shift in military defense philosophy that goes way beyond simple tech upgrades. We're talking about a total transformation in the nature of civilian and military protection that could redefine how entire societies defend themselves. But every tech revolution brings new risks and challenges that might have unexpected and possibly dangerous consequences. Despite its impressive advantages, Iron Beam introduces complex ethical and strategic dilemmas the international community needs to seriously consider. The first big risk is the chance of unintended conflict escalation. When a country feels totally protected by this tech, it can develop what experts call an invulnerability syndrome. This false sense of absolute security might lead to more aggressive foreign policies, unnecessary provocations, and reckless military decisions that could spark bigger conflicts. Historically, whenever a nation got a decisive military edge, it tends to use it more freely. Iron Beam could create a scenario where countries act more confrontationally, knowing they can easily defend against conventional retaliation. The second risk is a dangerous asymmetric arms race. Countries and groups that can't develop or buy this tech might look for more destructive, desperate alternatives. This could include chemical, biological, or even improvised nuclear weapons to get around laser defenses. Military history shows that when one form of attack becomes obsolete, attackers find new methods. Iron Beam could unintentionally push adversaries toward even more dangerous, indiscriminate tactics. The The third ethical challenge involves growing automation in defense systems. Although current Iron Beam still needs human operators to make final decisions, pressure to fully automate these systems is intense. Modern attack speeds are pushing human reaction limits, driving demand for fully autonomous systems. This raises serious questions about life and death decisions made by algorithms. Who's responsible if an automated system makes a wrong call? How do we ensure autonomous systems can distinguish between legit targets and civilians? How do we prevent hackers from taking control of lethal automated systems? Even with these risks, Israel is already testing Iron Beam versions installed on combat jets. Imagine fighters flying above clouds armed with laser cannons capable of intercepting hypersonic missiles before they even reach national territory. Rafael, the company behind the development, is working on mobile and naval versions. Soon, tanks, ships, and even civilian convoys could be protected by invisible light shields. Rafael Advanced Defense Systems announced record financial results for 2024, with CEO Yov Turgeman confirming their high-energy laser weapon system, Iron Beam, will become operational this year. That means 2025 will be the year we see this tech deployed on a large scale. We're witnessing the birth of a new era in military defense that goes way beyond simple tech innovation. It's a fundamental transformation in the very nature of human protection, where science is literally redefining what defense means in the 21st century. Iron Beam is just the start. We're entering the age of directed energy weapons, an era where battles can be won silently, without smoke, and with crazy cost efficiency. If before conflicts were decided by who had more explosives, now power might lie with whoever controls the light. And Israel, once again, is ahead of the game. Want to know how other countries are reacting? Or how this tech could totally change armed forces worldwide? Then subscribe to the channel, drop a comment below, and get ready, because this is just the first weapon of a new era.